What is going on, everyone? My name is Andy. Welcome back to another FPL video. In this one, it's FPL Team Selection time ahead of Game Week 37. So as always, I'm going to take you through how I did in Game Week 36, then look ahead to captaincy, more importantly, probably transfers, because I've got Jota, I've got Iheanacho. One of them needs to go, perhaps both. Hits are on the cards, and it's just how much do I want to go a little bit different. Do I want to leave myself flexible in 38? I'm going to talk through it all. There's probably going to be some tinkering as well, as always. Please do give it a like if you enjoy it. Hit subscribe if you're new around here. And let's talk about OneFootball. So OneFootball have sponsored today's video, as they have done throughout a lot of this season. So big thanks to them for all the support of this channel so far this year. If you haven't helped support that and you haven't already given it a go, it's completely free. Link in the description below. This is the last video they're sponsoring this season. So make sure you go and hit that. It really would be appreciated. I'm just looking up some stats which are going to play a part in my thinking for later on the app. So Tottenham striker Harry Kane has scored 7 goals in his last 6 Premier League appearances against Aston Villa, finding the net in each of his last 4 against the Villains. So he scored in each 4 of his last appearances and looking good this week. So there's loads of stats under each match when you go on them, which you can see there. And obviously you can give that a look when you download it. So click that link in the description below, support me and the channel, and get OneFootball downloaded for absolutely no money whatsoever. So Game Week 36 actually turned out to be pretty good in the end. I won't lie, when I got in Bamford and he went off before 60 minutes, I thought I was in trouble with no Calvert-Lewin, no Antonio. I've got away with it for 1 week. Let's hope I can keep getting away with it for the next couple. So I got 58 points in total. That took me up to a rank of 1,827. So I am now officially back in the top 2,000 and I'm only 15 points off top 1k. So triple digits. It's going to be difficult to get back there, but there are some differentials still up for grabs in the last couple of weeks. And like I said earlier, I am tempted to take a hit to get there. But so far, so good. Salah captaincy came in. He was my highest scoring player as well. It's always nice when you captain your highest scoring player. Rafinha got an assist, albeit a bit of a fortunate one. Lingard blanked again, as did Konza and Martinez against Palace. I wasn't necessarily massively confident about a clean sheet, but conceding 3 goals to Palace, not happy about that at all. Dallas came in again. Like I said, Bamford was a bit of the kind of only annoyance from the Leeds players. And Kane got 8 points, but he should have got more. Right, hit the post twice on the follow-up to one of the shots. Dele Alli then hit the post as well. That would have been an assist for Kane. But ultimately fairly good. Jota injury we didn't know about, so Burn came off the bench. Burn, by the way, 1-1 draw against Brighton. He got no attacking returns, but he did get a bonus point, which is quite nice. And Trent chipped in as well. So overall 58 points. Not very high scoring, but it was enough to get a green arrow from about 2,400 or something like that. So very happy with that. Let's look at 37. So because there's so many potential transfers to go through, I thought I'd just talk about the squad as a whole first of all, then go through the transfers and then check out any tinkering if we want to do that as well. I've got 1 free transfer of 4 million in the bank. So last week I did Vardy to Bamford, and that's given me a lot of money to spend. So right now, well, the plan was anyway, before the Jota injury, was to play 3-5-2 this week. But obviously he is red flagged. The reason I've kept him in my team, obviously, yes, I could just put Iheanacho in there instead, but I don't really want to play him either. And this is how the team was set up. So as I've said a few times, I won't go into massive detail. My defence is probably staying as it is for the last 2 game weeks. There is a chance in Game Week 38 that I swap Martinez to someone else, but I've looked at the options, and outside of maybe Pope if he's fit against Sheffield United, I don't think there's too many goalkeeper transfers that I want to make that I think are worthwhile. So I might just leave my options open to just transfer in a punt, and hopefully we get to know some of the lineups. Trent's obviously staying, Dallas is staying. They've got Burnley, then Palace, and then Southampton and West Brom, respectively. And then Dawson, okay, I'm not too happy about West Ham defence, but at least Rice is back. And West Brom and Southampton are not bad games to have to play. So if worse comes to the worst, I just play Dawson twice. But there is potential for me to move him home, which I'll talk about soon. In midfield, really happy Rafinha's back. I think he's the best Leeds midfield option, so he's going to stay. Lingard gets a stay of execution because of Jota and Iheanacho. It's just not, like, Lingard out is just a luxury transfer, West Brom away, and I've got other moves to make. I really like Villa at home this week for Spurs, so Son and Kane is great. As it stands right now, at the time of recording, and probably at the time of going out, Kane is my captain. That could change to Salah. I think it's really, really close. I spoke about this on the Game Week preview. I just think maybe at home, chasing the golden boot, Villa defence has just been awful. I'm backing Kane. But if you turn around and said, yeah, but Salah's also chasing the golden boot, Burnley are awful, and they haven't got their first choice goalkeeper, I'd be like, yeah, fair enough. I go back to Salah captain. So it really is that close, but currently I'm on Kane. And then Bamford's in there. I've not got too many concerns about him starting, but I am a little bit concerned about his minutes. But it is what it is. There isn't much more I can do about that. I've made the transfer, and again, we're talking about priorities here. It's not to do Bamford to Antonio. My main hope will be that Bamford gets at least 60 minutes over the last 2 games, and in that time, he does enough to, get me enough points, basically. Maybe even gets a penalty here or there. So overall, I think I've planned this quite nicely. The free hit has definitely helped with that because I haven't had to worry about Game Week 35. But I've got no Man United players. That's a little bit of a concern because I think Fulham at home is a good fixture and it probably will be mostly first strength in that side. But most of the players you see here also have a decent enough fixture in Game Week 38. So there's not too many transfers to make. So it has to be, for me, Jota or Iheanacho. I mean, I could swap a defender and play 4-4-2, but that just doesn't sit right? We're right into the season. I want to go for attackers. Need to try and get as many points in the bag as I can. So Jota or Iheanacho is going. Let's talk about the different kind of transfers that I could go for. So, as you can see, I'm a little bit all over the place with my transfers. I know that Jota or Iheanacho's got to go, but who I bring in, there are so many reasons why I could do one move over another one. Do I really want to take a hit with only 2 game weeks to go? There's obviously not so much time to make that hit up, but there are reasons to consider it. So the top one is probably arguably the best transfer because you're getting in a player going from Iheanacho to Antonio. He's got really good fixtures. Southampton and West Brom, then Southampton to end the season. He's probably going to have to start twice because West Ham need the points. They haven't really got another striker. His stats are just always good, right? You know how much I love Antonio. He probably has to be out there as one of the better moves. The only thing with swapping Iheanacho out is he's definitely going to start the last 2 Leicester games. And so even if I kept him on the bench, I've still at least got an option off the bench if I need one. Because Game Week 38, there could be quite a lot of chaos, right? And if you get 11 starts out of your first 11, then happy days. But it doesn't always work like that. And obviously, keeping Jota, he's not going to play for the rest of the season. So by taking out Iheanacho, you're almost telling yourself that you're going to make a Jota move the week after anyway. The other way to go is Iheanacho to Cavani, which would be a little bit more differential. So Antonio's not massively owned, but his ownership will probably go up this week. Cavani's very low owned, and I don't think many people will bring him in. Caveats around this, same with Greenwood and Fernandes, is I just don't know if they're also going to play Game Week 38. So by getting Cavani in, I'm definitely then going to have to transfer out Jota or Cavani in Game Week 38. Whereas if you go for Antonio, I leave myself more flexible where I can basically do whatever transfer I want. So that's the Iheanacho moves. Otherwise, there's Jota. So Jota straight to Greenwood, I can do that. I got a lot of money in the bank. I can also afford Jota to Bale, by the way. That is something I have kind of considered. But I think I just like Greenwood against Fulham because if Greenwood plays Fulham and Wolves, like if I get any kind of notice that Greenwood's going to start, then I quite like that move. Then we get into hit territory. So Jota and Konza, I can afford to go to Phillips and Fernandes. So with that move, I still have my 3 Liverpool. I have Phillips, Trent and Salah. And I know people are a bit worried about the clean sheets, but the last 2 fixtures are good, right? Burnley and Palace for Liverpool. And then I get to have Fernandes for Fulham. So I then have Kane, Salah and Fernandes, as well as Son and Trent. Right, so I'd have a lot of big hitters in my team. And obviously I do think that Man United team against Fulham is going to be first choice pretty much. We know what Fernandes can do, right, in any given game. But I wouldn't be convinced he's going to start in 38. And therefore, like Greenwood and Cavani, I might have to transfer him straight back out. But I could literally transfer him for pretty much any other midfielder in the whole game apart from Mane. I already own Salah, and I probably couldn't go to De Bruyne, but I don't think he's going to start that last game anyway. So Fernandes leaves me the option, maybe go for a Chelsea midfielder, go for another Man City midfielder, whatever it might be, right? So I've not completely ruled that out because it lets me keep 3 Liverpool as well, and I do think their fixtures are worth having 3. The last move is also for a hit. The one thing... So there's one thing I prefer about this to the Fernandes one and one thing I don't. So one is I'd have to bring in a player that I wouldn't play. So you're basically taking a hit just for Mane. At least with Phillips and Fernandes, I'm bringing in the defender I'll play over Dawson. Hopefully I earn points off that. And Fernandes obviously comes in for Jota, who's not playing. With Mane and Mitchell, I would just bench Mitchell. And I can do it with Iheanacho to like Vidra or Iheanacho to Jebison, right? But again, I would bench them. The good thing is, I get to keep 3 Liverpool, but I have 2 attackers instead, so it's a bit of a differential. Mane's quite low owned. And also, because Jota's out, he's almost certainly going to start both games and probably play close to 90 minutes in both as well. And I don't have to worry about transferring him back out in Gameweek 38. So if I make that move, I am completely flexible, you know, within the limitations of how much money I've got to spend to kind of do whatever I want in 38, even if it's just a boring defender or goalkeeper move, something like that. And I get Mane for Burnley and Crystal Palace. So as it stands right now, I'm kind of turning towards going for Mane because it's just something a bit different for the end of the season. But I know in the back of my mind, saving a bit of money or maybe going for a safer pick like Antonio might work out a little bit better. And if Cavani was starting and I knew that, I'd be very tempted to go for a punt there because I'm trying to find differentials to climb up the ranks without just going for someone for the sake of it. Mane, his numbers have been good all season, just hasn't converted them. If that happens in the last 2, that's huge. Cavani's numbers are great, he's playing Fulham, and Antonio's got 2 really good fixtures, and they're all low-owned players, right? So I think Fernandes and Phillips, if there was a few more weeks where I wanted Fernandes for, I might think about that, but I think the Game Week 38 fixture will probably put me off. But let's put them into the transfer planner just to kind of show you how it works. But yeah, let me know in the comments below as well which one you think is best. Okay, so just a quick bit of tinkering. Hopefully you can see it all right. I know it's quite small, but if I make it any bigger, it'll cut off the edges, so you won't be able to see it properly anyway. And every time I do this, someone puts in the comments, where are you doing this? Even though the website's literally on the screen. So livefpl.net, click on the transfer planner, you can do it. So this is how the team's lined up. So if I just did Iheanacho to Antonio, who I'm going to have to just quickly search for a sec. There we go. So I put Antonio in. He comes in for Jota. And then that's my Game Week 37 sorted. No hit again. And I've still got 3.5 million in the bank. I save that team. And then we go on to Game Week 38. And it looks like this. And again, Jota would be on the bench. So I'd have 3.5 million to spend. And I could kind of do what I wanted. And to be honest, I've not got a plan, right? I don't have a plan for Game Week 38 massively because it's a bit of a free-for-all. We might get indication from managers about, you know, players starting who don't usually start. There could be punts in the air, etc. I've got most bases covered with Kane, Bamford, Salah. I don't think Fernandes is necessarily going to start. So it would just be that, and I'd have 3.5 million. It could be Lingard to a Man City mid. It could be Son out for whoever I want, but I'd still have 3 Liverpool players, okay? So that's just one move. And to be honest, if someone else told me they were doing that move, I'd probably say it's pretty good. I think sometimes with Antonio, we just overthink it. He's such a good option. It seems so obvious. We try and find something else. But I'm going to come back now and reset my transfers. So Jota back in now. So we'll do the Mane one next, right? So with Mane, I have to fund it, and I can either fund it through Konza to Mitchell or Iheanacho to Jebison. The Iheanacho out one gives me a little bit more money to play with, so I'd be tempted by that. And I could put in Jebison from Sheffield United, who hopefully would start the last 2. And then Jota would go to Mane. So we'll put him in. Oh, sorry, he's got a funny E on the end. So Mane, and this would be the team then. So pretty similar. Konza goes out for Dawson. Jebison first on the bench, and I'd have Burn and Konza as well. And then I think that team looks so nice, right? Salah and Mane and Son and Kane against Villa and Burnley. Sounds pretty good, right? And obviously the defence takes care of itself. And then in 38, we swap Dawson straight in. Got Mane against Crystal Palace. Who knows what kind of score that could be. And I've got 0.7 million to play with. So it could be Martinez to whoever I want. Pope, for example, has got Sheffield United, but will he be back? I'm not sure. Who knows? It could be Mendy against Villa, whatever. It could be Dubravka against Fulham. Or I could just keep Martinez and maybe do kind of Konza out. Konza's 4.7, so I'd have 5.4 to spend on a defender. Again, the one reason I'm kind of not looking at defender transfers, unless I can get like Robertson or someone like that, is there's just not too many on the last day with a great fixture. Liverpool, I've already got 3. Leeds, I've already got 3. Fulham, I just wouldn't back. Burnley, possibly. And then West Ham, I've got Southampton, but I've already got Dawson. So I wouldn't, I mean, I could swap to Sofal or something, but that's a pretty boring way to use your transfer, right? So that's the Mane route. But with 0.7, I could go Son to a Chelsea mid, Son to a Man City mid, and if I wanted to take out Lingard, I'd have 7.2 to spend. Again, it would be a bit of a punt on the last day of the season, which you're only going to be heavily punished for 1 week, right? So if it went wrong, okay, it might destroy your season, but at least the season's over. So that's another option. And I'll just reset the transfers for Gameweek 37 as well. So we should just be able to reset. Oh no, it's because I've already saved them now. I'll start over again. And just really quickly, I'll just do the Fernandes move. So Jota would come out. I can't go straight to Fernandes, I don't think. I've got to make a move. We got to take him out for just anyone. Who's cheap? Kilman, because it doesn't let you do it because you've already got too many Liverpool players. For Fernandes. So Fernandes would come in. I'd actually bring in Phillips, not Kilman. And then you've got the double Liverpool defence against Burnley and Fernandes against Fulham. I probably still wouldn't captain Fernandes though, but that team looks pretty nice. And then in Game Week 38, you keep the double Liverpool defence against Palace, and then you swap Fernandes out to whoever you want, and I'd have 11.5 to spend. And again, you could pretty much get anyone you wanted. So they're the moves I'm looking at, right? I'll quickly just go through the Cavani one. The Cavani one leaves me a bit more flexible. But it's not without its own kind of issues. So with Cavani, you'd swap Iheanacho. Let me bring in Cavani here a sec. Okay, Cavani looks good. Fulham at home, nice. Team looks decent for this week. And then in 38, Cavani probably wouldn't play. So I'm either taking him out, and I'd have 10 million to spend. It's not enough for Aguero, by the way, before anyone says that. Or you just take Jota out. So I guess with this one, the thing with Cavani is... it means in 38 you're definitely making a move on an attacker. With Mane or Antonio, you're kind of free to do what I want. Or sorry, I'm free to do what I want in 38. With Fernandes, you've definitely got to take out Fernandes, I think, in 38. So I'm not quite decided. I think Mane is the one I'm leaning towards. The only thing I don't like about it is the second player that I bring in to fund it, I wouldn't play. And that doesn't seem ideal. I'm taking will Mane outscore the other options by more than 4 points? He might do, but it's a bit of a risk. So again, that's kind of just going through what I talked about just a minute ago, but it shows you how it looks. And I think the team for 38 with Mane in looks pretty damn nice. And I'm very tempted indeed. But there we go. That is the penultimate team selection video of the season done. I know I haven't narrowed it down hugely on my transfers, but I'm just open to ideas and potential transfers. I don't want to lock myself into one, knowing there's other stuff out there I haven't considered. And I think at the end of the season, I probably do overthink a little bit more because there are only 1 or 2 weeks to get points now, right? I'm not bringing in a player over the space of a 4 to 5 game week period where I think they're going to be great. So usually Antonio would probably be high up my list because I know he's definitely going to start, but it feels like I can go a little bit more punty. I think without anything going disastrously wrong next week or in 37, I should finish top 10k now, and I kind of wish I hadn't said that out loud, but I should finish top 10k. Is how much do I want to push for the top 1k? And I kind of do. And I think Cavani and Mane, for those reasons, are kind of high up on my list of players to bring in. But that could change by the deadline later on today. But I will have a deadline stream later, so make sure to join me for that. Give a like on this video and hit subscribe if you're new around here. And if you haven't already checked out Patreon, make sure you do. Patreon.com/letstalkfpl. Loads of people have already signed up. If you want to come and join them, then you can by clicking the link in the description below. I'll leave it there. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the deadline stream later. Good luck with your transfers.